I'm coming during the mornings to the lake because there is this picture that I want to take. That for me it's really beautiful. The lake gets covered with this layer of fog, but I only saw it happening once. So I'm trying to come as often as I can during the mornings. This morning didn't happen this condition. So I'm just enjoying a cup of coffee. I also brought my film camera to capture these moments. I haven't been in the garden for a few weeks now, only came here to harvest some veggies for the meals. But today I'm going to transplant some new cauliflowers and cabbage for the next months, and I'm going to harvest the last cauliflower of the season along with the potatoes that I planted at the beginning of autumn. I'm really impressed with the size of it. I never actually got to have that big of a cauliflower, so I'm really happy and proud of it. It was a dream of mine to one day have a homestead, grow my own food, and to find a balanced lifestyle in this modern world, where I could spend time working with my hands, as well as remotely working with my computer. I had to spend the first days of this year in front of my computer, due to work, but after a couple of weeks I was finally able to enjoy time outside and work with my hands. A few years ago I had so much stress from work that winter time was a bit of a struggle for me. The high stress level, being always on the go, and the lack of sleep weakened my immune system, and I got sick very often. When I look back at those times, I can now see that I didn't have the right work-life balance I needed. I had so many expectations and plans about this day, and all the work I wanted to do in the garden. But after the harvest, I started to make a late lunch, early dinner, and soon the day went by really quickly. And instead of getting worried and preoccupied because my plan failed, I chose not to stress out and enjoy the melody at home. I have been stuck inside the tiny house for almost 2 weeks working with the computer, and I have so many chores to do here in the garden today that I was supposed to do all of them yesterday, but I just took it slow and ended up only harvesting the veggies for yesterday's lunch and for today. And today, if I don't procrastinate too much, I'm able to finish all of them. But before I start my day, I'm going to move my body a little bit because it feels quite stiff from the long hours in the desk. Last week I got these tiny bananas from our local market. It has been organically grown in our area, in a small organic farm. They told me they were the first bananas that the trees produced, and it got me really excited, because I planted our first banana tree in our land only a couple of months ago, in hopes to one day be able to eat our own bananas. I have been making this buckwheat granola for breakfast lately, something that I have missed a lot, because it's impossible for me to find one that is gluten-free without any oats in it. Today is the day that I'm going to transplant these trees. I have had them for almost a year now, growing in pots, but they don't seem to be enjoying the pots anymore, and they are starting to look a bit sad. And because in this part of the fence we have a big trench, nourished since last year with good compost, I'm going to transplant today 4 of the trees. We have an apple tree, a plum tree, a blackberry bush, and also another tree that I don't know which kind it is, but it was gifted to us last year from the previous owner of the property. transplanting the blackberry bush, I discovered these narcissus and tulips bulbs, which reminds me that I actually have to transplant my spring summer bulbs right now because I'm a bit late, but it's okay. I think I'm going to be fine this year. I have been making this buckwheat bread lately because after years being allergic to gluten, all the recipes I followed were much more complex in terms of ingredients. And finally, a month ago, I decided to simplify it and test a new recipe with just 2 ingredients and without any yeast. You have to prepare it in advance in order to ferment it. Nevertheless, it is quite easy and straightforward. The bread is now ready. Once that you start seeing the bubbles coming out, it means that it's perfectly fermented. Now you can leave it to ferment up to 48 hours if you like a more fermented flavor. The beginning of the year has been an easy transition for me, since I already started to take the necessary steps to live a more balanced life. Doing something for your mind, your body, and your soul, it's important for all of us. I believe that the little things make us find fulfillment and joy in our lives. To pair with the bread that I just made, I'm going to make today an spread cheese made out of cashews and some herbs from the garden. I was actually waiting to have these herbs a bit bigger because after transplanting them like a month ago, it is taking a little bit of time to grow because winter has been really cold. Now I think that they are still small but have a good size to trim from the plant. So I'm going to use some dill, some chives and some parsley. I would love to hear your thoughts about how you have transitioned into the new year, and if you have been taking the time to treat yourself. Stay cozy and see you all very soon.